Yes, I'm finally now back at the forms of Yoshi's Crafted World after for about almost 5 months ago actually, since I've last touched upon this game, so even I just want to classify for you guys as a brief update for this point, but you know, you get the idea for this point. Hey, what's up everyone, I am Piglet here once again and I'm back for some more yet again for the likes of the Maxi Toys videos. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for some more of Let's Play of Yoshi's Crafted World for the Nintendo Switch. So, last time we have managed to able to go exploring through the forms of those 3 levels in Outer Orbit, and we managed to able to explore around on The Countdown Begins, Ride the Stars, and lastly, I can't remember what the 3rd level is called now, just because it's been about, you know, as I mentioned this before, it's been almost 5 months since I last touched upon this game. So today for this episode is the fact that we're also able to actually conclude Outer Orbit by simply able to, well, try and find the usual souvenir huntings, and eventually we might able to actually just to find, well, every single of those Puji Pups journey forms within the entire world itself. So hopefully we would be able to do that chances or what have you, or how should I describe it? Hopefully we should be able to actually just to find those basically. So yeah, you get the idea for this point. So yeah, as I said before, that it has been, you know, almost 5 months since I've last finally gone back into this. I know it's pretty obvious because I was mainly focusing on other Let's Plays in the since during the past, such as like, for instance, for example, that we did manage to tackle through, well, Mario Kart 64, Mario Party 10, and also same applies to the forms of, well, to be more specifically, Donkey Kong Country 2, Diddy's Conquest, and also same applies to SpongeBob SquarePants Battle for Bikini Bottom for the celebration of a remastered, or in this case a remake or something. So, but even then though, we can at least expect that. And all the other jazz basically, even though that definitely still needs to get back onto Mario Party for the Mario Party Marathon once again. So hopefully we'll able to actually continue that tradition from 2020 all the way up to 2021 if it's anything possibilities or something like that. But either way though, we'll find out in the future. So either way though, let's just go ahead and keep things moving. So just in case we could able to actually find 6 alien friends. So hopefully we should be able to come across into that. And hopefully by that time also is the fact that we might able to also try to find every single of those Puji Pups, but much like the forms of the Countdown Begins level, I would guarantee I'm probably not going to be able to find the actual Puji Pups for the first attempt, which it might be seems a little bit common these days now. Especially noticeable how the fact that for the sake of my Let's Play version of this whole entire game, so yeah, you get the idea for that. And also, as you can see on screen, I managed to able to reselect Purple Yoshi once again. So just in case we can able to actually show you guys, you know, those different color variations of Yoshis once again. But except this time around though, these are going to be the last time we're going to have to come across into those different colored Yoshis as far as I can remember. So either way, yeah, today's day is the forms of the 1st of September today, in this case in 2020. So in this case, we've only got about a few more months to go until 2020 will eventually become over. So even then though, and hopefully we'll get anything positively during the forms of in 2021 next year, specifically where it comes to likely other set of Let's Plays we're going to have to be continuously doing, and especially noticeable with the forms of, as I already said this before, that definitely needs to get back onto more of Mario Party before Sylvester's going to be doing Mario Party 2 afterwards. And probably after that though, I'm pretty sure we might as well able to actually just to get on with Sonic Shuffle for just a brief moment's notice, or something like that, if depending on how long those Let's Plays will take. But either way though, we'll see what happens there. So anyways, next we need to find is the Big Red Sun. So I think it has to be on Space Hop. Yeah, that's what the level's called right here. I keep on, like, forgetting about that specific, you know, level names, to be honest, because again, it has been about quite a few months ago since I last touched upon this. I think the last time I touched upon this is actually at the end of March, during the forms of 2020, after the the coronavirus outbreak, and I have no idea why I just fell off right here. But that's only because of how the fact that I was usually just keep on thinking of the different level layouts or anything like that. So either way though still, and plus I just keep on getting nerve-wracked like an idiot, like keep on getting hit by multitude of enemies most of the time. But hopefully we should be able to actually come across into a lot of checkpoints laying around. So, but either way, first of all, let me just go ahead and go after that big sun, even though my long-gone curse there doesn't seem to work with me half the time still. But as soon as we aim it from over there, then we can able to consider obtaining it. So either way though, before we leave the level, I need to go ahead and just focusing on, you know, the most important aspect of this, and that is of course fighting these Puji Pups, as you can probably guys can tell. So either way though, there's not much else I can say about this for the most part though, so... Yeah, speaking of which actually, is the fact that there's not much else I can really speak of at this point, I'm afraid guys, apart from the fact that until eventually, whenever I get back into this, and during the forms have been, well, I would say on Thursday the 3rd of September, that we can expect we can able to discuss upon more new levels of this game actually offers us too. So we can at least expect it to able to see some more new things is about to be happening, so we can at least able to accept that. Plus, because of how the fact that we just need to able to get the some stuff finished before we move on to the next good feel Let's Play game department, which appears to be, oh, looks like someone's playing. I would say I'm more crossing New Horizons or something, but then again, I haven't used my you know, Nintendo Switch for quite some time since Mario and Sonic get the Olympic Games Tokyo 2020 Let's Play, despite the fact that that particular Tokyo Olympics has been postponed, you know, so even then though, as a result, yeah, there's nothing else we can do for this throughout. So either way though, until 2021, until eventually we're able to actually get the opening ceremonies until, you know, 23rd of July next year, and especially noticeable, the closing ceremonies will be on the 8th of August, as opposed to the ones we are going to be having for the sake of this whole entire year. I know this year is going to be pretty rough around the edges though, which again, we'll point it out whenever we get on to the forms of, towards at the end of the year. So anyways, let's move on to the next souvenir hunting, which appears to be the Spirit Moon, or something like that for that matter, so hopefully we should be able to actually just define that. So, excuse me, I'm really sorry about this point folks, because then again, I keep on belching most of the time, which I know you guys find it a bit disgusting, but either way though, that's how hard it is when it comes to doing any other, you know, commentaries and stuff like that, but I do apologize for that. You know, got something in my throat there, but either way though, that's how it usually goes when it comes to doing a lot of commentaries such as so either way though, we can at least expect it from this point and onwards, so... And yeah, eventually at this point is the fact that, you know what Tiana has already mentioned this before, about the fact that ever since her journey forms have been May, that since that she's now finally finished up with Kirby's Return to Dreamland, or in this case Kirby's Adventure Wii for those who lived in the UK and stuff like that, she did say about the fact that eventually that's in journey forms of September the 2nd, that definitely Sonic will able to actually get back onto Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for propers this time around though, because the reason why it has been such a long delay for able to be coming back onto Kingdom Hearts Final Mix to begin with is probably because other set of redo Let's Plays we have to be focusing on. Also, same applies to the forms of, well, I don't suppose we can't able to actually play Kingdom Hearts games for quite some time at this rate, until hopefully whenever we do the next game in the series, which appears to be, well, in the end, we were supposed to be able to do Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, but instead of that, we're gonna have to mainly focusing on Birth by Sleep first, before we move on to the some other titles in mind. So either way though, that's all I can really think about it, and eventually we'll able to get onto the third game, or in this case Kingdom Hearts 3 at some point soon. But then again though, this is all depending on the forms of how long some of these parts will take, especially noticeable with extra content we're going to be showing you guys off, and especially noticeable with the forms of the actual ridiculous requirements to go for 100%, so... But either way though, that's all I can really say about it here. So either way though, hopefully by that time tomorrow, that Sonic will definitely go back onto Kingdom Hearts Final Mix for sure. So that way he can able to actually now focusing on, for the sake of time, he's now going to be focusing on secret bosses, and eventually he'll do the final boss in the game. And that will be about it when it comes to the forms of the entire Let's Play of Kingdom Hearts Final Mix. So yeah, that's how it goes, basically. So either way, though, let's head back over to... Oh, yeah, the Spirit Star. I think that's what he was trying to say for this point right here. So, alright, that's next. The Lunar Lander. So I think that will be on the Countdown Begins. So, on the front side. So, we can, at least we can able to find that. I'm pretty sure that that particular... that souvenir that we need to find is going to be at the very end of the level. So at least I can able to noticing this already. So even then we could at least try to able to go for that. Something's worth mentioning also is the fact that this is the last time we're going to be hearing this particular music for the sake of this Let's Play. This is probably because whenever we move on to the other two worlds eventually in the future, then we can able to actually hear some of the familiar music for a final time until everything else goes happen. So either way though, let's go ahead and oh jeez, I'm really sorry about this point guys, I really am. But even then, that's how it goes when it comes to the forms of later commentaries can get a little bit more difficult to able to actually just get a lot of like I don't know how to actually explain about this right about now, just because it has been, you know, quite a few days, or quite a few months since I actually, again, come back into this, you know, so either way though, no! Whatever. At least we can able to actually just to not to worry about the forms of those red coins, and especially noticeable with the smiley flowers, and even especially noticeable with the amount of health we can get. So we don't have to worry about this too much, as I said before. But either way though, that could be something it's usually entirely related to, so... Although, unfortunately though, speaking of the forms of this whole entire world, when it comes to the forms of outer orbit, unfortunately I don't feel we can able to get enough coins to able to actually just to purchase all 10 of those costumes during the forms of this whole entire world, which can be same applies to the next world after this. And we'll do in during the forms of it almost towards the end, but either way though, that we'll have to wait and see what happens there when it comes to the forms of the later portion of this whole entire ordeal. So either way though, let's go and use those little magnetic stuff. Oh, I'm supposed to jump off, aren't I? As far as I already noticed about this for this point right here, but you know, you get the idea for that. Alright, so let's go ahead and eat up some more Shy Guys before we create some more Yoshi's eggs. Gotta think about it. Oh yeah, talking of which actually, is the fact that it's already gets to the point until the 24 days time that the Mario Kart Tour will be celebrating its release for about a year ago for, you know, the whole entire game as a result. So, yeah, I can't wait to see how that's going to turn out for the next step forward when it comes to the forms of the entire whole thing. And of course, you can able to actually skip this part since we've already saw that since the first time we've been able to actually explore in this level. So, either way though, now we can able to find, not so much for those golden aliens, but also, well, we'll get to the forms of the other souvenir stuff for later, but for now, let's go ahead and just use those little octo squid things, which I don't know exactly how you call them, to be honest, because again, it's been, you know, there's no point for able to actually just asking you guys about this again, because you guys should know already about this at this point, so... Anyway, so let's go ahead and aim it from, not from over there, but we could able to, how do you able to actually aim from here? Oh, wait a minute, we can able to actually aim from here, and then, there we go, we did manage to found this particular, Lunar Lander, so now we can able to leave, and, yeah, we can hopefully try to farm some more of those coins as much as possible if we either just recollected the exact same smiley flowers again, or something like that, but then again though, this is all just a matter of time whenever we can able to just... you know, just try to rush things or something. So anyways, let's move on now to the Shy Guy Cruisers, and I think they are actually going to be on this level in the front side. So even then though, we could able to every single Shy Guys in between, so we can at least try to able to go for all that stuff. But you know, you get the idea for that point, so even then though, I just don't know why I just keep on saying the exact same line all over again. I know it seems a little bit repetitive, but that's as far as I can say. When it comes to the forms for the sake of the forms of today's uploading schedule for this point today, but even then though, still, whenever we get on to the next new world, I can able to actually discuss upon new things, specifically with the new types of levels we might come across into, so hopefully that should be the case. So either way though, let's go ahead and just be very careful not to get hit by all sorts of hazards, including the forms of likely out of control robots, and especially noticeable with the some very fast platforms and stuff like that. That's after when that meteor rock or that meteor shower just managed to crash into the actual space station. So, but you know, you most likely know what this is going. So even then, though, I don't know if I may be wrong, but I'm pretty sure this might actually be the last time we're able to actually just come across into that meteor shower or that meteor rock, trying to able to actually decide able to, or the meteorites. I don't know. I'm just getting a little bit confused right there for this point, for the sake of this point, guys. But then again, hopefully I can able to actually just to come back into this more often, and eventually we might also able to actually just to end this Let's Play off. Well, I'll get to that. I'll get some more details onto that whenever we get onto the forms of nearly towards the end of the entire portion of the game. So we can at least able to actually save that for later. So anyways, let's grab the checkpoint and avoid a lot of these robots, and hopefully they'll cool down a bit. So hopefully without any like too much distractions or anything like that. Oh jeez, that was really close. I almost gonna go myself the almost got myself a void from that. Wait, isn't there? Hold on a minute. Let me just go after this the other one until just about right now. And at the same time, oh no. Okay, phew. Oh man. Anyways, let's get some more coins in the process while this is happening, and hopefully without any like too much trial and error situation like that. And I think this is the next. Yeah, I was off by once again, one off by that souvenir stuff. In fact, let me just go ahead and just committed suicide, and because of that, well, actually, hold on, let me just turn back around a bit, so just in case if he does manage to show up again. But even then, if I remember correctly, it was actually on, well, not in that area, but in this area, if I recall. Wait a minute, he does not make it as reappearing. That's gonna be one of the most annoying moments worth noting for, but then again, it reminds me of Shadow the Hedgehog where it comes to the forms of certain mission structures, you know? So, unfortunately, we have to take a game over on that front, because, well, luckily we can able to respawn where the checkpoint is, but if you somehow dare to miss one of those souvenirs for your first attempt or something, you will be gone forever, so even then, that's kind of like the annoying part about that. Oh, I just keep on missing it. Come on, calm down. Thank you. Holy nuts. Anyway, but luckily for the sake of this time, folks, is that we basically almost nearly towards the end of those, you know, those godforsaken souvenir huntings in this game. But then again, I'll get to my biggest rant about this whenever we get onto the forms of the ending portion of the game, which I'm sure most people already know what I'm talking about right here. So anyways, let's find ourselves the stylish UFO, and I think, if I recall correctly, it's going to be on this level, right, the stars in the front side of the stage, so God knows of how painful this can be sometimes, but you know, we'll see what happens there. We'll see what happens right here. Okay, you're supposed to able to go towards over there, and then you have to jump over for those UFOs, and also same applies to able to go continuously to the right, hop onto those shooting stars. And also, if you're probably wondering why my voice has actually gone pretty depressed at the moment, this is probably because this is my jump cut for the sake of time, because I need to know where in the world that particular goddamn souvenir just went. And believe me, whenever I do manage to missing out on something, then this means I'm going to be able to actually do a multitude of jump cuts for the sake of time, for the sake of the actual point in itself, folks. Because, you know, we'll get to it more about it as soon as we're able to actually find that godforsaken UFO to able to show up. Well, it's not so much for those ones, it's the pink one I was going to be able to keep an eye out for, which appears to be the exact same color as my overall clothing and stuff, which I know seems a little bit weird, but since I'm overall a piglet, or anything like that, so... but you know, you probably get the idea for that, so... Alright, by the way, something's worth mentioning also is the fact that you remember when some toy did manage to tackle through Mario Party Island tour recently? Well, it happened way long time ago actually, since 2014, which is about likely 6 years ago. And what happens is that the Las Vegas Teddy, the one we actually become friends during the forms of the toys lineup, unfortunately though, that he did recently died due to forms of, well, the actual battery compartment has been, well, yeah. So anyways, let's hop onto here, and then you're supposed to able to aim it from over there, which is at the very top. Screw this souvenir stuff. Like, whenever I managed to able to play this on the first attempt, I couldn't even see that. Like, I couldn't even see that where in the world did that thing was supposed to be located. Even though you do need to be extremely dead on when it comes to forms of looking hard enough in terms of the actual the thing itself, but still, it's like, it's kind of tedious at times, I have to be honest for this point, guys. But anyways, let's move on now to finding the Saturn, which, kind of thinking about it though, it kind of reminds me like we're actually going to be, well, something related to the Sega Saturn or something, but I've no idea why I just keep on pointing things out for some random bibs and bobs and stuff like that, just because, now and again, I'm just getting, well, pretty sick of the films and the souvenir huntings, to be honest, because, well, it just gets pretty overused, or even in this case in particular, that it just gets really annoying if you manage to able to be missing on one last thing left, which, believe me, it's not as easy as it looks, so... But hopefully some situations like, for instance, that we still need to find ourselves the Saturn, there's no way we can able to actually just to clarify, to able to actually just to realize that we could expect we can able to find that somewhere during the middle portion of the level, so... At least I'm guessing it correctly, but then again, it's my semi-blind, so even then I will have to admit though for this point, guys, it will be some sort of like a semi-blind kind of stuff. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue things on from here, and hopefully we would be able to, well, bypass through a lot of security doors and stuff like that, thankfully those robots will kindly open up for this point for us. So, and if I recall correctly, it might be actually be just about right here. Because yeah, if you see that little, the planet with the ring, that actually represents the Saturn, so it makes it pretty obvious, right? Especially noticeable how the fact that since we still got ourselves our Sega Saturn, although it still has the forms of the memory storage issue, specifically if you manage to leave it off for a very long time and turn it back on again, they do realize is that everything on your save data is gone. It might be something to do with the battery life or something, but either way though, I'm just a little bit too convinced of myself, you know, so let's move on now to find these 6 silver alien looking things in the Countdown Begins level, so... Oh boy, I can definitely see how this is going for this point. Alright, as far as you already know, this is my another jump cut because again, I'm just getting a little bit distracted by the forms of some other parts, you know? But one thing you should probably notice is the fact that, well, the silver aliens are actually also located in not just in the space, but also around in the actual beginning portion too. So yeah, you have to really keep an eye out for it, because if you somehow bypass one of those silver metallical aliens, then you do realize is the fact that you would be able to actually just do, well, missing out on the actual checklist, or the actual, for the sake of time, the actual bucket list. Well, usually according to what I keep on referencing the Sonic movie 2020 for some spoiler territory right here. If for those of you who have not seen the movie before yet, even though you should definitely still recommend it. Especially noticeable, you can now able to actually get it on DVD and Blu-ray, and especially noticeable with 4K version. And heck, even with the forms of the digital version, if you don't feel like trying to get caught by coronaviruses when it comes to the forms of packages and stuff like that. At least that was in back in the day, that was. Since joining forms have been June the 8th in the UK version. So yeah, I could at least able to actually just noticing this from the start. So, you know. Anyway, let's go ahead and keep on searching, and hopefully we would be able to actually not get dragged over when it comes to forms of trying to able to going for a long series of this in terms of likely for, I don't know how to explain this most of the time, folks. Even then, I suppose another thing I should probably mention this also is the fact that until by that time, specifically in 12 days time, or somewhat lesser than that, the Super Mario Bros. Game, specifically in the Famicom/NES, that game will become 35 years old until the 13th of September on Sunday. So, hopefully, relatively speaking, is the fact that when definitely Mouse are able to get back onto Mario Party for the Nintendo 64, then you can able to actually just mention about that specific stuff once that's been up. So, that should be interesting, I know, but either way though, that's all I can really say about that. So either way though, let's go ahead and keep on going upwards. But again, thankfully, if you do somehow manage to find every souvenirs, as you can tell, then your progression has been saved. No? Okay. Alright, let's try and get that darn metallical, silver metallical alien right here. And hopefully we should be able to eat up some more shy guys in between, and hopefully shouldn't give me that much trouble with. So again, I really do apologize if my throat does have its little stuck up moments, but either way though, again, it's just a matter of time for commentary for the sake of points worth noting for. So in fact, relatively speaking, as you can see, this is actually the last time we're going to be able to be blasting off to the rocket, as you can see, for that specific cinematic. Just because that we pretty much almost nearly towards the end of this game, basically. So even then, though, as far as I'm aware, that most of the levels of the game, well, except despite the fact that the challenge itself might be a little bit far too laggy compared to the forms of Woolly World, as you guys should already know. But eventually, whenever we get on to the other world after the next world, well, it's hard to explain about this right now, but eventually I'll explain more about this and during the forms of the next few weeks, during the forms of the rest of September, so we can at least able to actually go for that. And let's go ahead and knock out the last silver alien cardboard thingy here, and we are basically done for that souvenir hunting in terms of the forms of Countdown Begins. And please don't tell me there's actually going to be more to it than that. Well, at least I expect so anyway though, but at least we'll see what happens there. Oh, yep, we've now finally done with the souvenir huntings in this world. Thank God for that. Anyway, but we still have not done with the souvenir huntings though, just yet though. But then again, we'll point more about it whenever we get onto the future worlds. But for now, let's go ahead and go back into this level for the final time to deal with what else? Some Puji Pups hide-and-seek action, so for reals this time. If you're probably wondering, this is another jump cut, and also the actual camera angle is actually a little different when you start the level. This meaning because this level just... oh my god, this is by far one of the hardest Puji Pups hide-and-seek I've ever come across into. Well, for one notable sortable reason is that, well, for number one, Puji Pup number one is actually kind of finicky to get. and as a result, you're gonna have to get a lot of courage to able to actually utilize with the actual the egg tossing cursor thingy right here. And second is that although despite the second Puji Pup is actually easy to get, but the one I've accidentally ignored from the first time actually, and that is do you know what the forms of that the magnetic cranes segment? Well, apparently though, according to the forms of several other Let's Plays of this game, that also means is the fact that yes, there was actually going to be the third Puji Pup is going to be on that crane magnetic sequence, which, don't believe me? Well, we're not able to find out until whenever we get onto that stuff. But hopefully though, once that's just been done, and especially noticeable if we manage to able to attain every single of those, you know, smiley flowers, then we can expect for sure, then we're basically gonna be pretty much done with that from now on. So anyways, let's go ahead and continue things on, and go to the right, and then boom, there you go. You're able to find yourselves the third and the final Puji Pup. Now here's the thing about this though, we need to able to ground pound those little lids, and by doing so, you need to be on exactly the right angle in between those kinds of stuff. And most of the time though, you weren't able to expect, you weren't able to actually just to able to try to get the opening where it comes to able to actually lift up the lid and anything like that. So you have to place all three lids on those two spots in between. But then after when you're done with that, however though, then you would able to receive the third and the final Puji Pup for the sake of this stage. So, goodness gracious me, that took me a lot of hard work, even though despite the fact that I actually did manage to do a lot of jump cut editing when it comes to forms of trying to do previous runs in journey forms of, well, for the sake of this level potentially, because for the love of God, I seriously swear to God, I keep on missing a lot of egg shots journey forms of the first Puji Pup, and as far as the second one is actually not too bad. But the third one, I always seem to get messed up when it comes to forms of trying to place the correct lids in a corresponding spots, and as a result of that kind of stuff, oh man, it just gives me a lot of trouble for the first time, because either way though, I just have no idea where the rest of them are. Well, at least specifically where the third Puji Pup must have went, but thankfully though, for the sake of this attempt, this means I pretty much guarantee I can able to complete that just fine now. So, and now let's move on now to write the stars in Find the Puji Pups basically. So we can at least able to actually just go for that stuff, and hopefully we're not going to get that much sense of confusion. Even though as you guys can clearly tell that I've accidentally managed to obtain the first Puji Pup and eventually leave the level at the process too, and able to get ourselves the smiley flower in the process too. However, I'm actually going to be trying this this part again, except this time around though, I know exactly where the third one is actually at the green plastic bottle segment, in this case the actual the spaceship or something. But the second one on the other hand though, I have no idea where that is. But it turns out, whenever I did manage to look upon guides or anything like that, then I do realize is the fact that we do need to actually make some of these UFOs appear. Specifically, well, you see why whenever we get onto that specific stuff, once we're able to continue exploring through the rest of this level. So either way though, we can at least able to actually expect this much. Oh yeah, by the way, something's worth mentioning about I was completely wrong in terms of trying to able to see the actual cinematic of when Yoshi gets blasted off on a rocket, little cutscene. I don't suppose that will be the final time we're gonna have to able to, well, it's hard to explain about this sometimes, to be honest, for this point, guys, because again, that there's no point in trying to explain about the actual repetition, kind of lines like this. So, but you know, you most likely get the idea. So, hopefully we would be able to ride on those stars as platforms and wait for this one to rise, or even any other stars to rise up. And I think, if I was assuming correctly, that's the one Puji Pup at... Excuse me? Stupid shy guy. You stupid shy guy sometimes. You are so stupid. Anyway, so I think it's actually in this bit right here that I've accidentally ignored. And that, you have to able to actually just well, not only just trying to do with like that, but, oh, it's just hearts, okay. There's no need for more health, to be honest, because we've already just technically done that from ever since. You know, just doing new forms of that specific parts right there. And there's the second Puji Pup just underneath, or in this case, just hiding underneath that UFO. So, yeah, we're at least able to noticing this already, so... Oh, jeez. No, 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 no. I'm not gonna able to actually fall off again. I seriously swear to God. Oh, man. But anyway, let's go ahead and, you know, just trying to continue, and hopefully we would be able to just try to find the last Puji Pup, and hopefully we would be able to be completely done for, not only for Puji Pup's hide and seek for the sake of this world, but the entire world itself as well. So even then though, although this is not the final time we're going to be able to explore the entire world like this until, you know, eventually later on. But either way though, let's go ahead and leave the entire world. And, well, that's how it goes basically. So either way though, huzzah for that. I suppose. I don't know. I know it's been about, you know, a couple of months since I actually did my last commentary on this game in particular. Because again, I've already explained about this plenty of times enough as it goes. So... but anyway, that pretty much takes care of the forms of outer orbit, as you can see. Not that bad of a world, to be honest right here, but it's just that, you know, souvenir huntings and Puji Pups essentially is going to be the most trickiest part about it. And no, it looks like we don't have enough coins to able to purchase some more costumes throughout, so we'll be back for that shortly afterwards. But anyway, let's go ahead and give him 15 more of those smiley flowers, and since we've got plenty of them, so this means about the fact that we actually got ourselves right now 362 smiley flowers right now. I would imagine if well we can able to make it to 400 or over, but we'll see what happens during the future parts of this entire Let's Play and stuff like that. So yeah, now we move on to Cherry Valley, which I'm afraid to tell you for this point guys, we got the endings of this point here. So join me next time on Let's Play Yoshi's Crafted World. It's the fact that we're going to be exploring around on Cherry Valley while going through Ride the River. So see you guys on Thursday. Later fellas.